So this is still the so to speak the early times of the company when we had just started making money through online ticket sales, and it was just too unbelievable, too fun. After people would go home. By the way, we have always from day one to now had a policy which is unlike almost every software company in that we encourage people to leave home at around 5 p.m. Start at 8, leave at 5, have a life outside of office, spend time with your family and loved ones. Anyway, so people would go home and I'd look at live help and look at people coming in real time to the site and see what they're doing, where they're coming from, just to learn about the consumer behavior. And I think almost everything I've learned is just by observing people in real time, how people act. And but one of the things that I noticed was that someone from IRS was on our site. And I got very scared and actually very confused as well that we have just started making money. Certainly it's not even tax season. IRS, by the way, is the FBR of America. So a much feared agency, let's put it this way. So I'm like, it's not even tax time. I'm not doing anything wrong. Why are they on my site? What are they nosing around on? And literally a couple of days later, Department of Justice, someone from the Department of Justice is going through my site. And it's even scarier. I'm like, what is this? Is this some Pakistan connection? Are they out to get us? What is this? And then CENTCOM Qatar. It's Central Command in Qatar. I see that someone from that site is now looking at my site. I'm like, it really can't be that important. And it turns out that all of these people were buying tickets. And these are very statistically significant numbers. If you can't read it, it's like 600,000. We took an average for the 3 months or so. Just average at time our traffic on an hourly basis, and you can tell that 9 a.m. New York time is when people start buying. So when they come in for work, they are actually buying tickets, and you see a very sharp dip in the middle. This is the lunch time. People don't want to waste their lunch time on buying tickets, but when it's work time back again, people are buying tickets. And again, if you notice, there are 5 good days and 2 bad days. Those are during weekdays when people are at work, they're buying tickets, and weekend they're having fun and skiing and sleeping, so they're not buying tickets.
So really, kids today don't dream of doing conventional jobs. Now, the kids today, what do they want to do? They want to start the next Google, the next Facebook. But how do you get that opportunity in a place like Pakistan? In my case, I was an MBA student at LUMS. I was looking through my options to do a summer internship. There were the usual suspects, the Procter & Gamble's and whatnot. Then one day I got this mail from this very fascinating new company called Sofizar, and they promised to teach me everything about social media marketing, the use of Facebook, and all these funky statistical tools I'd never heard of. So I went ahead with the interview, and when I met Zafar, so casually dressed, wearing that t-shirt that said Google, I knew I was in exactly the right place. And the kind of questions, the brain teasers he asked me during the interview, I'm proud to report that I still use those to stump the MBA students at LUMS. For the last several years, I've been asking them the same questions in their mock MBA interviews, and they always get them wrong. So the kind of interview techniques I learned there, the kind of introduction to the work environment I learned there really has a lot of universal value. The couple of months I spent there as an intern, I just learned these very invaluable lessons. First of all, I realized how different it was from my previous jobs. In my previous jobs, I was given a lot of work, but I was right there at the bottom. I never knew what impact my work made. I would turn in my work. Several months later, I would have no idea if anyone had ever read it or if it had made any difference to the organization. But here at Sofizar, I was working directly with Zafar. He was giving me daily tasks, and I was getting this instant gratification of knowing exactly what impact it was making. At other jobs, everything was so administrative. I was just following rules. Over here, I was being encouraged to bring out the scientist in me, to solve problems, to come out with ways to improve the processes, to maximize and to optimize everything. And most of all, I loved that small startup environment. I loved the fact that the team was working and collaborating together towards a common goal. We didn't just come there every day to do a job, to do a chore. We came there every day because we wanted to break sales records, and we were going to do it together, and we were going to work together to achieve it. As I moved on from Sofizar, one thing I've kept in mind is wherever I've gone, whatever job I've wanted to do, I've wanted to keep it in a very similar startup-like environment. And I'm happy to report every job I've done since then, I feel like I've brought in a little bit of the Sofizar spirit with me.
So it's easy for a company that's growing really fast and with humble roots as our company, it can go to your head. You can make bad decisions, you can do stupid things, or not grow as fast as you should be. You could be wasting opportunities. So one exercise that we went through was that the whole company, we were about 20, 25 people at the time, maybe 20 people at the time, we had a voting as to what defines us. And I gave them about 20 different things. What are our core values? And so I did not want to dictate what our core values should be, but I wanted to get people's feedback on what do you think our core values should be. And we adopted these, and these have been very, very much part of our core, if you allow me, ever since. Every decision that we make has to abide by this. If it is violating any of these core values, that means it's a no-no. Obviously, integrity and ethics is up there, but I want to say integrity and ethics, of course, almost every good company is that way, in terms of they would not cheat or they would not renege on a contract, but it goes beyond that, where sometimes a decision has to be made about someone who, some partner or someone you worked with, and I'm specifically thinking of a Korean partner that we had, and they gave a lot in terms of integrating with us, working with us, and we really, really went out of our way to keep supporting that, and that I really think was part of that's how really I define ethics. The other thing that we wanted was, the people in our company wanted was utmost respect for them, and I in turn wanted utmost respect for company time, doing what you think is the best for the company. So again, respect is not like I salute people or people salute me. Rather, it is being respectful of people's time. If they are working and giving their best, do not make them come over weekends. Do not make them work late nights. Give them bonuses. Give them some way to share the good times. That to me is the real respect. The other thing was that we, honestly, one of the things that a lot of people kept telling me was, why aren't you doing outsourcing? It's just the thing to do. No one else does anything but outsourcing in Pakistan. And it really, really affected me. So in the sense that I did not want to do it, and there was so much peer pressure that you're not making it, you're not surviving. This is earlier days, because you are doing some crazy things instead of doing what everyone does. So this was our core value. Innovate, do not do what other people are telling you. And the last one is not the least, which is that no matter where you go, think yourself that you are on the ground floor. You're on the basement, you're on the ground floor, you can go all the way to the 17th floor one day. And that is staying unsatisfied.
So I did my MBA back in 2008, and I, like all good MBAs, I went into a bank to work. It was a big bank, and I was in the corporate sector of that bank. So I was used to pompous offices, lots of office space, big desks, and all that stuff. But after a couple of months, I got bored, and that's when I decided to have an interview with Zafar. So the first thing that I remember is that the interview was at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, who's this CEO who gets up at 8 o'clock in the morning? But then, well, the interview went on for a couple of hours, and he liked me, I liked him, and bam, I became a Sofizarian that day. So I remember walking into every day, the office was such that his office was in front of the car park. So when I got out of the car and tried to go up to my office, he would always call me in. And early morning he would ask me, hey, what are the sales figures for yesterday? And I was like, dude, give me some time, I'm just coming into office. And that's the time I realized that as an entrepreneur, you have to be on your feet 24/7. You have to really know what your business is doing all the time. But you see, it wasn't very easy for me. I was the only MBA at that time in a technology company, and there were a lot of engineering versus marketing battles going on. But it was really fun. I know Zafar would flip out when I would talk about branding, and he would say, man, this is a technology company, what are you doing? But then it was really fun. It was really fun. I remember one time, I think it was last year in June or July, there was heavy rain and our generator failed somehow. And I saw myself, I was running up to the rooftop, I was drenched in rain and I was trying to figure out what's wrong with the generator. We got it working that day, but so later I was just thinking about it and I realized that I'd started thinking of this as my own company. And that's I think that's the success factor of Sofizar or any other good startup. When your employees start to think that you are the company, you own the company. And I think that's what we have done over here at Sofizar. I think that's from my side.
So, we are in a country of plus minus a few million, 180 million people. So, what is the biggest limitation to our growth? It's actually lack of people. There is brain drain in Pakistan. Many of the smart people leave the country. My favorite topic is the MNCs, the multinational corporations that wastes a lot of talent. Sorry, I'm just kidding. But there is another leakage of the brightest people in Pakistan. And let's say, on average, more or less, 50% of the smartest people stay home. They're women. They stay home. So we lose that. If we don't have enough people, how do we scale? We needed event reviewers. We need people who could watch YouTube, look at Google Earth to see what the venue looks like, look at Wikipedia, and imagine what the event really was like and review it. So we came up with the concept of moms with laptops. Moms who could stay at home and with laptops, and who could do all of these things. And we created a support structure of editors, facts and plagiarism checkers. And but there was another issue. They'd come in, the moms with laptops would come in, they'd work, and then they'd get bored. See, many of the brightest people are from, and the best writers are from very privileged backgrounds. They never need to work. They still don't need to work. They are very well off. You can't incentivize them with money. So what do? So we decided to create the concept of a social. Every 2 weeks they got together and they had poetry readings, readings of the stuff that they enjoy writing and reading, and they had an MC and of course pizza and ice cream, all those things. And basically that's what allowed us to scale in this.
So when I joined Sofizar, it was still a pretty basic setup, and it was a lot of young people working there, which made me feel quite old at that time. And at that time, the CEO would just storm into the room anytime and would, with some crazy, exciting idea, and would sit with the team and make it work right there. And these were the people who were working very hard at that time. They were working from 8 to 5 to put in their bit. And at the same time, they were having fun too. They loved ice cream penalties. If anybody has let the door open in the summers or has made a mistake in the work, bam, you're buying ice cream for everybody.